Good morning and happy Wednesday. Today we are going to continue with Do You Know Your Opponent, Part 13. So we are going to talk about today crystals and sage. So that is a big part of the New Age. As far as occultic practices like casting spells and things like that, I didn't use any of those type of things. But when I got into the New Age side of things, that's a huge deal. The New Age comes off as like a type of healing experience, a type of self-help experience, a type of you're going to heal yourself and you're going to level up in this world, not like financially necessarily or something like that, but more like you're going to raise your frequency and you're going to be on another level than most people. You will become more godlike. They use a lot of terms like your higher self. That is not a real thing. There is no higher self. The only thing higher than you is Jesus Christ, because you're created by God. There is no such thing as a higher self. When you are talking to your higher self, you are literally talking to a demonic entity. You are literally connecting yourself to a demonic entity. But one of the things that I was really big into was crystals. I had, well, of course, it's funny how Satan will just put stuff right in front of your face. So I had been walking past this little crystal store or rock store for like forever, until I finally one day just happened to notice it. Went in and they had all these little pouches with different types of crystals. And each pouch had a little card in it. It explained what the crystal was and then what healing property it has. And I thought that was amazing. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So they had like crystals, for protection, crystals for prosperity, crystals to get rid of your allergies. And so I kept going in there. I would buy all kinds of crystals. Now they took it even further, and they make like crystal wands that you can use to cast like spells, to do like your moon rituals and things like that. I was told, if you put your crystals in water, and then drink the water like you would drink the healing properties. Also, like, in order to recharge your crystals, you put them in the out at a full moon, and it recharges the energy. All of this is a crock of crap, like, for real. The crazy part is when you're in it, you don't even realize how dumb it really truly sounds, and how it's like that doesn't even make any sense. But when you're far in it, like, it makes perfect sense. And so that was how I got started with crystals. I got so like into them that I was like putting them all around my house. Every door jamb I had crystals. And then I got into the sage. Same thing with the sage. So with the sage, it's used to cleanse your aura or cleanse your house of negative energy. Well, guess what that negative energy is? It's a demon. They're spirits. But it's basically, sage does not clean anything. What it actually does is usher in the demonic around you, into you, and into your house. That smoke calls them in. So stop saging your house. So this is the continuation of the sage. So I got really into that. I also, you need to be aware of incense as well. Yes, incense is in the Bible, but there are certain things that you just need to watch out for. So I had came across chakra balancing incense that basically was colored according to your chakra, which I'll discuss in its own video in itself, because I was seriously into that one. And so basically I would burn incense almost every day. And then I'd go around saging my house. I would sage myself before I would start channeling or doing Reiki, or when I would do like automatic writing. Basically, when I was saging myself, thinking that I'm, getting rid of the evil, bringing in positivity, what I was doing is basically calling in the demonic realm. And it makes sense now because that's how I was channeling, and the information I was channeling was coming from a demon. The experiences that I had, which I'll talk about some of those in some of my videos, it was definitely demonic. I had a whole conversation with a familiar spirit at one point in time. I had astral projected. There's a lot of different things that I did. I woke up and one day, Ra, the Egyptian god, was in my bedroom. And I was told that I was a reincarnation of Isis. Not Iris. I don't know who Iris is. But yeah, so the saging does not clear anything. It does not clean your house. It does not clean the air. It literally is a ploy, that the demons are using to get people to do this, which opens up a doorway into their life. Whether they do it in their house, you're still opening a doorway for the demonic to enter your house. If you do it on yourself, then you are basically calling the demonic realm to you. And if you're not saved, they could literally come inside of you. If you are saved and you have accepted Jesus Christ into your life, then you have protection, but they can still oppress you. So just because you're saved does not mean that the demons can't mess with you. They can, and especially if you give them grounds to be able to. And this is why you need to not have these things in your house and in your life, because it gives them grounds to attack you 100%. So along with like the sage, the crystals, the incense, I had, crystal jewelry and things like that I wore. The crystals were really big for me. I literally had like protection crystals when you came in my house over my door jamb. I mean, when I think back now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad because like people used to come to my house all the time, and I'm like literally inviting them into the gates of hell walking in my house. I mean, as soon as you walked in, there was like crystals there. Across my bedroom door, there was crystals. Across the bathroom, like every door in my house. So every door in my house or doorway literally had crystals across the top. They were for different reasons. In my bedroom, I had crystals all around the top of my ceiling. Literally, I had glued them to the walls, like in a perfect line around my room, like all these different crystals. Yes, I was crazy enough to like put them in my water and drink the water. I mean, I did at least like, sanitize them, but it was stupid. Like, it made no dang sense at all whatsoever now, but at the time, it's like, you're being fed so much information about like energy and healing, and who doesn't want to be, healed? Who doesn't want to have, all these nice things happen to them? Who doesn't want to be prosperous? Who doesn't want to, have everything going for them well, who doesn't want to, have love and joy and peace and happiness, because that's what the crystals were. The crystals that I were using were like for healing properties, for love and peace and prosperity and strength. And the funny thing is I even got sucked into, they had some crystals at the store that I went to all the time. And it was like to get rid of your allergies. I even bought into that mess. And no, it didn't take away my allergies. I still had horrible allergies. But I carried crystals in my purse. I had crystals all over my desk at work. And am I saying that there is something wrong with crystals? No. But if you're using them for any type of properties where you think you're going to heal, or you're using them for luck, or you're using them to find love or anything like that, then yes, they are wrong and you need to get rid of them, because you are using them as an idol. You are worshiping the crystals instead of worshiping God. If you have crystals in your house because you like, amethyst, and somebody bought you an amethyst rock and you were like, oh, that's pretty, and it's on your counter or something, you're good. If you like rose quartz because it's pink and it's pretty and you have rose quartz in your house, you're good. If you have moonstone in your house and you just like it because it's pretty, you're good. The only time that crystals become a negative tool is when you're using it because you're making it an idol, and because you're giving it some type of power or strength to do things that they don't do. God created crystals just like he created anything else. So if you're appreciating God's creation, whole different thing. Now, as far as the burning of sage, there's no reason to be burning sage. There's no healing properties. There's no reason at all. So would I say to burn sage in your house? Heck no. This is how I would look at it. Do you want a demon in your house? That would be my comment to you if you asked me. Like, hey, can I still burn sage in my house? I would literally tell you, hey, do you want a demon in your house? Do you want to live with a demon? Knock yourself out. Now, as far as like incense, if the incense isn't tied to anything, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have an issue. But I would also go back to like, are you using the incense to make your house smell good? That's one thing. If you're using the incense for any other reason than that, then you have a problem. Also, what type of incense are you using? It depends. Where did you get the incense from? There's a lot of companies that you could buy incense and you do not know what they have done or what that incense is attached to. So just because you go in and you buy something, and this is the same with crystals, you need to look at where you're buying it from and what kind of like store it is, and the people that own the store. Because you can walk into a store and it just has a bunch of rocks in there, so you think, but this person is a practicing witch or a practicing new ager, and so they have brought in these crystals, they have imbued them with the spirits and with love and light and all of the words, the trigger words that they use, and now you done brought yourself home a demon still. So I would just be very careful when you go to places. I would pray over them, even if you have to pray over it in the dang store. Like, I would pray over it and I would ask God, is this, can I bring this home? Does this have, something demonic attached to it? These are the things that I would be doing. I would not just be going and picking up any old, incense from a store or any old crystals. The same with getting them from people. Who gave them to you? What was their motive? Why did they give it to you? Do they believe in the New Age or in the occult or anything like that? Or did they just think it was a really cool rock that they thought you might like? So there's different things that you need to be doing. One is being on guard at all times. 2 is checking with God. Like, I always am going to go to the source. It's not going to pay off to ask people, because people don't really know like that. But if you go to God and ask him and pray over it, he will tell you, like, no, this rock isn't good, or no, you shouldn't buy anything from the store, walk out. The same with the incense. You need to be knowing where the incense is coming from. If it is, just a random, strawberry incense from Safeway or whatever store, you're probably going to be okay. But if you're going into certain stores, there is like certain brands that come from like India and China and different places like that, and you don't know what demonic attachment has been attached to them. You don't know what practice this company or the maker or whatever practices as far as like their religion, their beliefs, or anything like that. So I would definitely be praying over these things. That's going to be your safest bet. When all else fails, if you know someone who has been in the occult in the new age, you can ask them about certain things, and they can tell you. But 9 times out of 10, your best bet is just to ask God, because he's going to know what's best over a person any day. When people usually ask me questions, especially like things where they're asking me my opinion, the first thing that I will say to them is, you need to go to the source and ask God. Like, I can give you a gist of an idea of like the response and that to the question, but it's like, why do you care about my opinions when the only opinion that matters is God's opinion? If God tells you it's bad, then it's bad. If I tell you it's bad, you can rationalize that and be like, well, she's just saying that because she came out of the new age and now she's worried about everything, and continue to do something. When God tells you it's bad, you know better and you should listen 100%, and you won't rationalize it out. I mean, if you're smart, you would be like, okay, Jesus, I'm not going to do that, instead of rationalizing, why you can still have it or use it or whatever. So definitely just be careful about what you are allowing on your body. As far as like, they make little tiny crystal necklaces and things like that. Those necklaces are in the same shape of the wands that they make to use for witchcraft and for moon ceremonies. And so be careful what you're putting on you, because it might look pretty and shiny, but it might be attached to a demon, or you might be ushering in a demon into your life.